Salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be recommending books based on your favorite trope, but this is going to be featuring all queer romances. So how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. Alright everyone, we're going to be talking about some queer romances, some LGBTQIA romances, and I'm really excited. I posted on my Instagram asking you guys to give me a trope. Give me your favorite trope and I will give you queer romances based on that recommendation. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have a ton of tropes and I also have this little bag of like trope cards that we're going to pull from. If you guys have never seen these cards before, they're from a company called Lila, June & Co. on Etsy. They have gorgeous designs. These are like little tarot cards that have different tropes. Leave her Etsy shop down below and we'll probably pull from these cards in a little bit. Normally when I do my recommendation videos, I make a list and I kind of like narrow it down to all my favorites, but I decided to do this one kind of like rapid fire. You guys are picking the trope. I'm going to give you a book recommendation. I do have a playlist on my channel called Trope Week. It's a series I do on my channel, and every single day I'll take a very specific romance trope and give you guys a bunch of recommendations. I have a video dedicated to sapphic romances, a video for polyromances, asexual romances, romances with the bisexual rep. So I will leave that playlist down below because we read queer romances all year round, okay? Okay, so the first one is a fun trope. It's fake dating. I have so many of these, literally so many of these. I'm gonna recommend two. Some I will have more than just one recommendation if they're like a favorite trope. So the first one is a sapphic romance. It's Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur, and this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. It does take place during the holidays, but you can read it literally anytime. Her parents is really into astrology and she owns a company that is geared towards that. Her co-workers ends up sending her on a blind date with his sister. They go on the date. It's awkward. It's not that great. It doesn't go that great. When the brother asks how the date goes, they lie and say that it went amazing, and they end up fake dating just so that they can spend the holidays together and bring each other to like all of those family dinners, Thanksgiving and Christmas, so they're not the ones continuously showing up alone. It starts off as a fake dating situation so they can appease their parents. They get feelings, and this one is super sweet. I really liked it. The next one is a male romance, and that is Fake Out by Eden Finley, which is the first book in her Fake Boyfriend series. You can tell by the series it's called the Fake Boyfriend series, so the whole series except maybe the last book is filled with the fake dating trope. For this one, our hero Maddox thinks he's straight. Kind of. He's a little unsure. He is invited to his ex-girlfriend's wedding in his very small town, and he has to head back, and he doesn't want to go by himself. He wants to go with a date. But the problem is all his friends and all his family thinks that he's gay. So he was dating this girl all throughout high school, and she wanted marriage and kids and all of these things that he really did not want, and he didn't know how to break up with her because all of his family loved her and they were together for so long that he kind of just like blurted out that he was gay, and that's how he broke up with her. So now he has to like continue that. That's where Damon comes in. Damon is the brother of Maddox's best friend, is a retired baseball player, and he's trying to become a sports agent, and he needs connections. Maddox has like some connections within like the hockey universe, so they end up striking a deal that Damon is going to pretend to be his boyfriend and goes with him back to a small town, back to this wedding, and they pretend to fake date. But of course, real feelings happen. Next trope that someone asked for is a bodyguard romance, and the one I'm going to recommend is Fighting for Three by Nicole Stewart, which is a book on Kindle Unlimited. So this follows a couple who is married, and our heroine is famous and she needs a bodyguard. She needs someone to protect her, and they also want to learn how to fight and protect themselves. Ends up hiring a professional fighter to teach them how to fight as well as to be their bodyguard, and they both have a connection with him, so they enter into like this polyamorous relationship. I liked this one. It had a lot of cool tropes, and it's just a fun, steamy time. This one that someone asked for is a single dad romance, and for this one I have an Omega verse for you, and it is called Let Me Find Your Omega by Ash Moon. This is the third book in the Moonstar Dating Agency series, which you don't have to read in order if you don't want to. So if you don't know what Omega verse is, I have a video explaining it. I will leave that down below. Sure, it's kind of like if shifter romances and fated mates had a baby. This one takes place in a world of fated mates. I said that already. Our hero works at a dating agency where he reads the stars, kind of like takes in astrology, and almost reads someone's future to help them find their fated mate. The twist to that is he's not able to read his own future, and he is not even sure if he has a fated mate. The other hero is new to town, and he ends up opening up a bakery. Him and his daughter kind of work in this bakery, and he is the sweetest, like most cinnamon roll hero. He's literally a cinnamon roll who bakes cinnamon rolls. Her is really into matchmaking and astrology, and that is how all of them connect. Our hero who works at the dating agency ends up becoming her mentor, and it's just so cute. Honestly, this one is very low angst. It's super, super sweet. We have two completely adorable cinnamon roll heroes, and I love this one. I feel like this series is so underrated. It's such a good Omegaverse. Next one is one of my favorite tropes, so I have many recommendations for you, so buckle the fuck up, okay? We have friends to lovers. Ugh, I love friends to lovers, guys. When they have that connection, that friendship, and then you add spicy, steamy times. What is better? Okay, so the first one is by my favorite author ever. I've talked about her a lot. That's Marina Vivancos. I have a whole video on every single book that she's written because I just love her. Everything I've read by her, and I've read all her books, 5 stars. Just adore her. She has a lot of friends to lovers romances now that I think about it. Like, this is definitely a trope of hers that she is a master at. But I'm going to recommend a novella for you. This is Crybaby by Marina Vivancos. The male-male romance, it follows Sasha and Jason. Jason is bisexual and he's realizing he has a little bit of a kink. Okay, he's discovering himself. He's exploring, if you will. And he realizes that he likes to make his partners cry. But not like BDSM or degradation, more like crying with overwhelming pleasure and emotion. Sasha is his best friend, but he comes from a background where he's never been able to explore his attraction to men. So he ends up propositioning Jason for a friends to benefit situation because they already trust each other. End up having a friends to benefit situation where they both can kind of explore. It leads to real feelings. This one is so sweet. This is another low angst read and it's just super sweet. The banter between our two characters is hilarious. This book is so funny, and for a novella, it does everything it needs to do. Like, I love this one. Another novella that I love, and again, I talk about all the time, is Party Favors by Erin McLennan. And this is a sapphic romance. Now, this series is a series Erin McLennan does that follows different holidays. So you have like Valentine's Day, Christmas. It takes place during New Year's, but you can read it anytime. It's friends, lovers, romance. Our heroines meet online and they kind of like bond over their mutual love of fashion and music, and they have a lot of similar things in common. They spend years just like texting and becoming best friends, but they've never met in person. So they decide for New Year's, not only are they going to meet in person, but they're also going to create a bucket list of all these items they want to do together and all of these things they've always wanted to do. But when they meet each other, the chemistry is electric. It's hot, it's steamy, it's spicy, and they spend New Year's together, and it's great. It's so great. Erin McLennan also loves a good friends to lovers romance because she has another one called Perfect Matcha. And this one is a male-male romance. Hero Theo, his ex-boyfriend, is getting married and he's invited to the wedding, but he doesn't want to show up alone. Asks his best friend Camden to find a guy for him, but he's really shy, not really confident. He's very nervous, especially like in the bedroom. So Camden works at a sex toy shop, so he ends up buying toys for his friend Theo to like help him build his confidence. Of course, Camden has been like hopelessly in love with Theo forever, but has never wanted to ruin their friendship. You guys know how this goes. It's classic friends to lovers trope. But they have some fun times with all of those toys. And it's definitely like a teach me moment, you know? Oh, sexy, steamy, sweet, everything you could want in a friends to lovers romance. Okay, so I was talking about polyromances, and someone asked for a polyromance that is 2 girls and 1 guy. So a lot of the times when you find polyromances, why choose reverse harem, it's usually 1 girl and like her harem of men. Sometimes you can find like polyromances where the men are in a relationship. Usually it's 1 girl and then a bunch of guys, which, you know what, I love. That's the stuff dreams are made of, if you're asking me. Love a poly situation where it's 2 girls, 1 guy. Scandalous Passions by Nicole Davidson. This is a novella. It takes place during like medieval time, which is a really fun historical setting. So it follows 3 characters. We have our heroine, who is the king's mistress. Our other heroine, who is the king's ward. The daughter of a nobleman. I don't remember what her father did. He died or he betrayed the crown. He did something. He's not in her life. She ends up becoming the king's ward, and then you have the king's knight and like most trusted knight. The queen is super jealous of the king's ward, so the king ends up sending his ward off to a castle somewhere else, sending his mistress to be her guardian and his knight to protect the both of them. And it follows their romance. It's an age gap romance, BDSM. There's so many fun tropes. We have a dominant heroine and a submissive man. I feel like you don't need to know anything else. Read this book. It's amazing. I love it. If you want another polyromance with 2 girls, 1 guy, Katie Roberts has a few. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she has 3. But my favorite is The Sea Witch, which is part of her Wicked Villain series. If you've never read the Wicked Villain series, it's basically a twist on Disney fairy tales. It's a BDSM twist on Disney fairy tales to be even more spicy. This is a romance between Ursula, Ariel, and Prince Eric. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Read it. Sarah Simone has one too. It's like a gender-bent Robin Hood situation, and it's called Sherwood. Oh, I love that one. That's a novella, and it's so spicy, steamy, and delicious. Somebody asked for the trope of nursing back to health. That is such a fun trope. Blindsided by Eden Finley. That's part of the Fake Boyfriend series. This is a male-male football romance. So this book follows Talon and Miller. Talon is a star quarterback, and Miller is someone that he played high school football with. Both becoming professional football players, but for years and years they played on different teams. And finally they play on the same team, and their dream of winning the Super Bowl is like right there. But then Miller gets injured in the very first season, and Talon takes it upon himself to kind of like nurse him back to health. He takes part of like his physical therapy and helps him get back into shape so that they can play football together, and they end up falling in love. They're best friends who fall in love, and it's super cute. Another one is Nights Without Night by Marina Vivancos. Oh my gosh, this one is deeply emotional. Read the trigger warnings. It's so freaking sad, but good, but heartbreaking, but romantic. It's just everything, okay? So our heroes are best friends. Like I said, Marina Vivancos loves her friends to lovers trope. They grew up together since they were really little kids. One of our heroes ended up going into the military and becoming a part of like this very specialized unit, spends years and years and years on specialized missions and in the military, and finally he's getting out of the military and really struggling with like civilian life and like reacclimating into society. He ends up moving in with his best friend, and he goes through a lot of depression and PTSD, and our other hero, his best friend, really just takes care of him. Like there are days where our hero's not able to get out of bed, and again, Marina Vivancos just writes mental illness in such a raw, real, almost cathartic way. And this one is nursing back to health, but not like a physical ailment. It's definitely them supporting each other when they're struggling with their mental health. And the way they leaned on each other was so romantic, and like the true definition of soulmates, how they supported each other. And I loved it, loved it, loved it. Highly recommend. Another one is Whiskey and Sin by Emily Wraith. So this is an Omega-verse, female romance, and our hero, who's an Omega, has been human trafficked for a good portion of his life. He ends up escaping, but his leg is really badly injured, and he ends up like passing out on the side of the freeway. Our other hero, Bear, who is an alpha, ends up finding him and helping him and taking him back to his cabin and letting him stay there until his leg heals, but also helping him from the previous pack that was hunting him. This one has a couple of different trigger warnings, so make sure to read the author's note. I love Emily Wraith. She also has a couple of different polyromances that I love. So yeah, just a good recommendation over. Next one is a morality chain. That is a good trope. That is a really good trope, and I'm trying to think. A morality chain is like if one of our characters is like morally gray or like a villain. Good because of the person that they're in love with, kind of. Okay, I think I have some. So I have Hidden Scars by Andy Jackson. This is a male-male hockey romance. And you know what? I have this book. Let me grab it. So a lot of the books I talked about, I don't know why I didn't grab them. Probably because I didn't plan to talk about them during the video. I was just like going down the tropes. Anyways, Hidden Scars by Andy Jackson. Love, love, love. So those are hero Preston Carmichael, and it's very similar to like Untouchable by Sam Mariano. If you like Carter Mahoney, you're gonna like Preston Carmichael, okay? If our heroes are hockey players, Preston is an amazing hockey player, but he's a bit of an asshole, to be honest. Like he has a reputation of being an asshole. He went to this college to play hockey, and nobody wants to room with him. Literally nobody wants to room with him. Our other hero is the one that ends up rooming with him. Turns out that Preston's father abused him pretty much his entire life. Please read the trigger warnings for this book. Everyone just thinks that he's lashing out, but it's almost like a way to protect himself. The hero just like allows him to take out all of that anger and frustration on him. This is an enemies to lovers romance, but it's so good, so good. I don't know if that's quite morality chain, but like kind of. Another one is Unhinged by Onley James. One of our heroes in this book is a literal serial killer. Okay? But in like the name of goodness. So basically this billionaire decided to adopt a bunch of psychopaths, literal diagnosed psychopaths, and turn them into weapons. And they go out and kill people who have done wrong in the world. So Adam is a serial killer, and he ends up killing Noah's dad because his dad was like involved in like this kidnapping ring. Noah doesn't know that, and ends up tracking down Adam to get revenge and kill him, but they end up having a romance. Adam is like certifiably insane. Certifiably insane. Would burn the entire world down, but also like totally worships the ground that our other hero walks on. So definitely a morality chain there. The video is so long. You guys gave me so many tropes. I don't even know if I should grab one of these. You know what? Let's grab like 2 and then we'll end this video. I'm having so much fun just recommending books to you guys. Okay. Not looking. First book. Fake dating. We already did this one. We already had this one. Such a good trope. Pulled single dad romance. I'm pulling all the tropes I've already done, but these cards are so gorgeous, so I'll show you guys anyways. Oh, we got 2. Okay, let's do the first one. Fantasy romance. Yes, fantasy romance. Okay, this one is a good one. Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. I will have any excuse to recommend this book. Polyromance. And also, I think one of our characters in this book identifies as non-binary as well. YA fantasy romance, and it follows a town that is very prosperous. And the reason they're so prosperous is because years and years and years ago, they made a deal with a literal devil. So a witch in their town made a deal to the devil that their town is going to be healthy, their crops are going to be prosperous, and every couple of years, they're going to sacrifice a boy to the slaughter moon. But there's so many secrets in the town, okay? And the slaughter moon is only supposed to be like every 7 years, but it's coming closer and closer. Each of our characters, there's 3, it's a polyromance. Each of our characters is connected to the slaughter moon in one way or the other. They're all in a romance. It's really intriguing, such a cool fantasy romance concept. Highly recommend. Camera's about to die. We didn't get into the cards too much, but I still hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found some good queer romances to read during Pride, or honestly, anytime. Okay? Doesn't have to be just during Pride. You can read diversely outside of the month of June. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!